Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of One Bad DJ TV on YouTube. Been gone from the YouTube channel for a little while, just been busy taking care of other things. And kind of got bored with the hobby and everything after I built up the Condor and smoking coyotes left and right. I'm up to 12 on those things. And then I had the Talon here that I had built as a Talondor and then tuned it down with an 18-inch barrel, and it had a shroud on the end of it. And I was using that for squirrel work and groundhogs, gophers, things like that. And I decided to bump it up to a 25 caliber stubby. So what I did for this gun right here is it started out as a basic Talon, and then I put the carbon fiber tank, a standard Condor valve on it, and it's got the Talon Tunes quick change top hat. I ended up putting the Condor hammer, and then I had to get the power spring from Talon Tunes as well to get this thing to fully open up with the power wheel setting at 0. I put a 12-inch 25 caliber barrel in it because I really wanted something short and stubby, because I got to sneak out on the back porch and things like that. Getting in between the rails on the porch, you know, with the longer barrel is starting to be a kind of a pain. So I went ahead and put the 12-inch barrel in it. And as you know, with the 12-inch barrel, it actually stops short of the end of the frame on the Talon. So the barrel that you see sticking out there is actually a Bill's frame extender. You know, what I did with that is originally had it for the Condor, chopped it down almost in half to where it's now about 7 inches long. Total package, you're looking about 31 inches. On top, I've got an Aeon 4 to 24 by 50 scope that I got from Talon Tunes as well. It's got the side wheel adjustment. On the top of that, got the razor reticle. Now the cool thing about the razor reticle on this is you can pin it for your zeros. So if you got it set at 0, say 40 yards, you put the whatever color pin you want for a 40-yard zero. This could be your 20-yard zero. Then you'd have whatever colors around it for, say, 10, 15, 20, 25, however you want it, and you don't have to worry about trying to figure out, hey man, you know, what do I got to do, how many clicks? You just rip it right around to the color you want. You're all locked on the perfect dope setting. Now this gun, we're going to be running it right about 3,400 PSI and see how many shots we get with it. I just put the heavy hammer spring in there last night. I can tell you it does shoot harder than 30 foot-pounds of energy, which is what I had it set up for with the stock spring and the power wheel cranked all the way up. It was getting right at 29 foot-pounds of energy. Now it's going through half-inch plywood at 40 yards like it's a pretty much a hole puncher. I have not cronied it yet, so we're all going to learn something new today. And the rounds we're going to be utilizing, I've got some JSB 33 grain exacts. I got the Barracudas that are 31 grain. I've got the Barracuda Hunter Extreme. If you've never used these things are absolutely insane. I have smashed down a couple of squirrels when this was set up at 30 foot-pounds of energy, and it drops them like nothing else. I've also used them out of my Condor in 22 caliber, and they work very, very well on rats. There's no getting away from them. You hit the rat's dead. That's all there is to it. But these are running 28.4 grains in the 25 caliber, and then we got the big old fat heavy ones from Eugene, the 43.2 grain pointed ones. I shot one of those last night. It hits about 6 inches lower than what the gun zeroed at 40 yards with the Barracuda Hunter Extremes, but it's a lot heavier pellet, so I expected it to hit, you know, a little bit lower. Can't fail to mention the Maddog stock. It's a short hunter stock. You actually have to go to the Maddog Stocks website to get that. I'd like to give a big shout out to John in the camper, or John over at pelletgarden.com. He hooks me up with a lot of good lead for my Condor, and got some other stuff in the works that we're working on with him. And once I get those in, then we'll run through the ballistics gel as well and give it another video on that. And then of course Tony at Talon Tunes, you know, he makes a hell of a lot of good parts and keeps people happy, and you know, keeps us the sport excelling and evolving. So thanks again to John, pelletgarden.com. Thanks to Tony at Talon Tunes and Maddog Stocks. So without further avail, we're going to go ahead and step outside. I got to set up the ballistics gel. This is a no kidding 10% FBI grade clear ballistics gel. I have melted it down once and actually made it about 17 inches long. So instead of it coming 16 6x6, it's about 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 by 17 inches long. I use a standard ammo can as the mold, so when I break it all down, stick it in the ammo can, throw the ammo can in the oven, it molds right down to it, pop it out nice and easy, and I can continue to use this and melt it over and over and over again. So I think we've covered everything with the gun. 3400 PSI, a Talon heavy hammer spring, Condor hammer, Talon quick change top hat, the carbon fiber tank. It's got a standard Condor valve in it, and that's pretty much about it as far as modifications to the gun. So let's get outside, get set up, and then show you what this thing does. We're going to learn together on this. This is the first time I've ever done a video like that. So if it fails, it fails. So stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are all set up in the backyard, ready to rock and roll. Got the distance laser ranged at 20 yards from the tip of the muzzle where it's going to be to the actual targets. Now, down to the targets. Alright, just like every other video, safety is paramount. So what we got going on here is 4 targets. I wanted to get the shoot and see targets. However, I only have 2 of those left, so I put these spaced out about as far as I can get them, and hopefully we're going to be good. I'm going to shoot the U-gens on the bottom right hand corner down there because I know they're going to hit low. The only thing we're going to do is straight grouping, so no matter what, I'm going to hold on the center and see how well these things group. For the backstop, got just an empty cardboard box. The first layer is going to be a flak jacket insert that is actual, no kidding, bulletproof Kevlar. Then we got 3/4 inch plywood behind it, particle board 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch plywood, 3/8 inch plywood, 3/4 inch plywood. So nothing should get through that, to include actual firearms and things like that. So we get this all set up. We'll get the video rolling. Alright, for those that have never really experienced 25 caliber, what we've got here is a 177 caliber dome pellet, a Barracuda Hunter Extreme in 22, and then a Barracuda Hunter Extreme in 25 caliber. Just to give you an idea, the size difference, between those pellets. Pretty decent size. Alright, so here we go. First ones we're going to be shooting are going to be the Barracuda Hunter Extremes. That's the one I usually use. So we're going to be shooting at the top left corner. Back up into my spot, my pre-measured spot. Lizard at the 15-yard line. And we do have just a little bit of wiggle. I am shooting off of my knee. Neighbor's dog, I guess. Exact same point of aim. I think I'm boogering it up more than I thought it's over. Not too bad, not too good. Alright. Next 3. Man. I think I'm a little bit off on this one. I'm not doing these pellets justice. Need to get a... Alright. Here we go. So the ones we're going to be using again are the little foam there. JSB Kings. They are the let's see, 33.95 grain. See how these bad boys do. Gonna be going to the top right target. quite a bit of spring twang. But, you know, throw the slap mod on it and that'll fix that. A little bit of grease on the spring too. Alright, I think that actually went through the same hole. That went through the same hole. I'm going to be very, very, very impressed. Alright, so we're going to be extremely close with those three. And pump the gun back up again. Alright. One thing I am noticing is in between shots and all that good stuff, 3 shots, I'm really not losing any air pressure whatsoever. So shot count should be pretty decent the way that's gonna set up, and I'll go over the setup again at the end of the video. So what we're about to go through right now is gonna be the 43 grain U-Gins. Big old heavy hammers. Let's see what happens to these bad boys. It's a beautiful day out here, getting a little sweat rolling while I'm shooting. Here we go. A little bit low, but we expected that. Number 3. Alrighty. Alright. These last ones are going to be the 31 grain Barracudas. Slid to the side a little bit, try and get into the shade. Beautiful out here today. Absolutely beautiful. Alright. Trim the little edge of the grass right in front of the target. That's funny. Try it again. Alrighty, well, that's it. There's our 4 pellets. Starting pressure 3,400 on the hill pump. So let's go check out our targets. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I really did justice for these pellets, but yeah, it is a little hot out here and I'm shooting off of my knee and everything. But the H&M Hunter Extremes are in the top corner. Actually about the biggest group and all that good stuff, right at 20 yards. The JSBs, I hit 2 of them in the exact same hole right there. So you got 1 and 2 shots, and the third one I obviously pulled. Same thing going right here at the EJ pellets, the U-Gin. Got 2 through almost the same hole, 1 just a little bit to the side. Then these 2, you got 2 through the same dang touching.
and then one just a little bit high on the H&M Barracudas. So I'd say all in all, this thing's grouping pretty well. I'm gonna run it across the chronograph inside, and the backstop held up very well. You can see, got some nice little pellets here. That's gonna be the U-Gin. You can tell because of the skirting on it and all that good stuff. Mushroomed out pretty decent. You got another U-Gin. This guy, that guy's gonna be one of the other ones. Same thing, can't really ID that guy. And I was expecting the Hunter Extremes. It's probably one of the ones that's mushroomed out real well. But there you go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let me get set up for the next round. What we're going to do is run it through the ballistics gel. We're going to pump it up, and it's going to be one shot per pellet into the ballistics gel, and we're going to see how that thing reacts and what each pellet does. Alright, for those that have never really experienced 25 caliber, what we've got here is a 177 caliber dome pellet, a Barracuda Hunter Extreme in 22, and then a Barracuda Hunter Extreme in 25 caliber. Just to give you an idea, the size difference, between those pellets. Pretty decent size. Alright, well here you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's actually very impressive. Almost all of them penetrated pretty much the exact same depth. Almost all of them had the exact same track. The two domes have a little bit more in front of them. The Hunter Extreme did not expand really at all. I was kind of expecting a lot more out of that one, and this is just a standard CD for depth perception. So you got about 2 CDs, so say close to about 10 inches of penetration out of each one of these pellets. It's man, that is really not what I was expecting, but it's very impressive. You stop to think about it, it just shows the consistency of the gun. Alrighty, well, interesting. Tiny bit of expansion around that one.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys liked the review of the Talondor 25 caliber that I put together. Yeah, I kind of got bored with the air rifles basically because I had this thing all just set up, pinpoint accurate with 22 caliber, and I took my Condor over 100 foot-pounds of energy. So, I got kind of stagnant, quit making videos, apologize for that, but now I've got this 25 caliber 12-inch Talondor that I put together. Gonna do a rundown of the parts I got in it, so that's why I keep looking down. So the first thing we got is a stock Talon. So what I did is I bought the CO2 version of the Talon so that I could utilize the CO2 tank for a separate build that I've got coming up. It's a 22XX bulk fill build with a multi-shot, basically bolt action rifle, 12 round magazine, all that good stuff. But that's a different video. So once I got the Talon in, I took the 18-inch barrel out of it and I slapped a 25-inch or 12-inch 25 caliber barrel in there. The barrel barely goes to the end of the frame. It's actually kind of recessed inside there a little bit. And then from there, I had the Talon Tunes carbon fiber tank. I pump it up to 3,400 PSI back here on the back. That shortens up the rifle, and it also increases the air pressure. Kind of decreases the air volume, however, with the increase in pressure, compensates for it, and you can do mathematics all day long and figure out the differences in it. I'm running a stock Condor valve inside there, and a Talon Tunes quick change top hat with the smallest insert. I wanted to choke it down a little bit, because I use this gun for gophers, squirrels, things of that nature, and that's why I wanted to build a short little stubby gun, and this one is 31 inches tip to butt. So that way I can sneak around the corners, and it's all camouflaged out. The squirrels don't even know I'm coming, then nobody knows what happened. That's the best part. The neighbors don't hear anything, and we'll get to that piece in a minute. Alright, so underneath the top hat back here, I've got a .035 spacer. What that's going to do is it's going to stop the valve from opening all the way so that you get the 3,400 PSI pressure, but not the volume of a full open valve, okay? That's also going to stop the problem of air dumps. If you have air dumps, you can put a spacer back there and it'll prevent that from happening. Next thing you know, we have the Condor hammer inside the gun itself that rides right in front of the breech, which is sitting right here. So the Condor hammer rides right in the front. And then a Talon power spring inside there. When I had the stock spring with the Condor hammer, Condor valve, and 3400 psi in the tank, the valve, I had to crank the power wheel itself all the way up to get enough preload on the spring to open the valve so the gun could shoot. So what I did, you want to try and build the gun to where it's at 0 on the power wheel and adjustment lever and all that good stuff. So what I did is I got the power spring, put it in there, and it sits at 0 now, and now the gun operates the exact same every single time you pull the trigger, and that eliminates your bell curve. Because when you have the power wheel up, you can sit there and run the power wheel up and your velocity starts to drop. You can crank the power wheel down a little bit and sit there and feather it, if you will. But with the power spring, the gun set at 0, it kind of helps eliminate any kind of a bell curve in your velocity. Obviously, you're still going to have it, but it makes it a smaller bell curve. Alrighty, now up front here we have the Bill's frame extender. I had that on my 22 caliber Condor, and that was the first shroud that I put on there. So what I did for this gun is I actually cut it basically in half and then slid it in there. I dimpled the bottom of it so that the grub screw down here on the bottom that holds the front end of the gun in and all that good stuff still has something to grip onto. If you cut something and stick it in there, you want to make sure there's some way to secure it down. If you watch my shroud video that I made for the Air Force Condor shrouds, I actually blew the same frame extender out of the front of the gun with 3600 psi. And why it flew out, whether it was the high pressure, the amount of volume of the pressure, didn't hit the dimple in the screw, you know, there's a lot of speculation, all that good stuff. The skid marks on the actual shroud make it look like the dimple and the grub screw hit it. However, for this one, what I did is I made sure I dimpled it and made sure that grub screw goes into the dimple as well. And it's a very easy process. You cut the tube, you stick a dowel rod inside there, a wooden dowel, and you simply take a peen for like a screw or anything like that that you peen metal with, hit it with a hammer, bang, you peen the barrel, or you peen the shroud, and now your grub screw has something to hit and stick into, and it makes it to where the barrel shroud will not fly out of the gun. Alright, the scope itself is a 6x24 Aeon 6-24x50 Aeon scope, again from Talon. Got the side wheel adjustment on there, makes it easy to adjust for range back and forth. The 6-24, I would have, honestly, I'm thinking about replacing this scope with a 4-16x44 Hawk varmint scope. I've got the 3-12, I like that a little bit better. It's a clear picture. Going all the way up to 24 on the zoom, I really don't use it. I don't go past 12 on this scope. It just, it's not for me. I don't need that much magnification. So again, if you're going for a gun like this, if it's this scope or the other scope, I think honestly I would edge to the Hawk 4-16x44. It's just a, in my opinion, better scope. There's nothing wrong with this one. It is held up superbly. It's crystal clear. Does everything I need, but I also like the half mil dot reticle on the Hawk scope. This has got a mil dot, plenty of dots, excellent for everything, but personal opinion, I just like the Hawk scope a little bit better. And it's comparably, it's right around the same price. Alrighty, on top of the scope, we've got the ballistics compensator, the Razor ballistics compensator. It's made by Wicked Air Rifles. You can Google search them. And again, what it does, you put your pins wherever you got the zeros at, you can zip right into whatever yardage your target's at. So you range it off of the AO, okay, it's at 50 yards, bang, you zip your elevation in, and now all of a sudden your crosshairs are set dead on instead of trying to figure out, okay, I gotta go up 5 dots at this range, things like that. So it basically eliminates the need for a mil dot reticle, but it's another good thing to have. It's fun to have, you know. If you got the extra, I think it was $20 or whatever it was very inexpensive compared to what you get. Fantastic product on that one. I love that thing. Maddog stock. Got the Short Hunter stock with the rail on the front end of it. Guy had it out, let's see, it took him about a week to build it, had it to me. Slaps right on there. There's 2 bolts. One goes through the screw, one goes right through here. It's got holes so that you can get to your bushings. That way you can just take the barrel on and off without dismounting the scope or the guard or anything like that, and it works out very well. Everything else, UTG bipods, you know, the UTG bipod up front, we've got the UTG rail back here, and then the Talon Tunes tank cover on the very end of it. So hopefully this video helps you guys out, gives you guys a little bit of design, you know, thoughts or whatever. If you got any questions, you want to see anything else, you know, let me know, put notes on here. We can pretty much do anything. I've got a very wide array of air rifles, and I can do, you know, basically whatever I want with these guns because I got tons of parts. I could almost build another Condor if I had a frame. But thanks again to Talon Tunes. Feel free to check out Demolition Ranch. Those guys are pretty funny. That's a t-shirt from them. You know, they got a lot of good videos on there from Texas. You can't go wrong with Texas. Talon Tunes, John and the Camper at pelletgarden.com for all the lead for my coyote hunting, and Maddog stocks for all the other parts. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed this video. The next one, I'm hoping to do a review on my Dan Wesson Airsoft pistol. That's the, excuse me while I whip this out, air pistol for airsoft. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Have a good day.